And hopefully the word will get out to the criminals that we are encouraging more people to come down here with guns, and hopefully they'll just move to Chicago.
Hey guys, this is Disenthrall. We are here with Murdoch and Come and Take It and Matthew and Stanley. What's the other group? It's Come and Take It and Don'tComply.com. And we just wanted to hang out. They're walking the Katy Trail today. We wanted to see what they were about, ask them some questions, and kind of go through it with them today. So, how are you guys doing? Why are you here? What's up?
We are excellent.
We are exercising our rights.
Nice. To bear our arms and our legs.
There you go. So, like, the idea is to take a serious topic and make it like more approachable and to
absolutely. We didn't want to be intimidating out here today. That was the only main concern that they had in the media, was that we could be intimidating in an area where families are involved. We have family events. People will be bringing their children today. It's not an intimidating thing unless you're scared of an inanimate object.
Right. So it just calms people down, or it makes fun of the people that get freaked out.
Yeah. So we came out here making light of the situation and making ourselves a little less intimidating to people.
Awesome.
Around October 14th, the Dallas police had an incident where there was a couple guys down here with toy guns, and they turned around and asked the public to not bring their guns down on the trails here in Dallas. So 4 days later, a man that used to play for Texas A&M football was frustrated with life and hacked a jogger to death with a machete.
Okay.
Not long after that, 5 or 6 different people were robbed down here on the trail because criminals heard that they weren't going to let firearms on the trails anymore. It basically created a gun-free zone, and criminals don't obey the law, nor do they obey the government when they ask them to do things. So we want people to take care of themselves. Last night we saw in Paris how 150 people were murdered at an American concert because they were in a gun-free zone. In Paris, the citizens can't have guns. We don't want that happening in Dallas, Texas. And the reason our crime rates aren't the same here in Dallas or Houston as they are in places like Chicago is because we have the fundamental right to bear our arms in Texas, where they can't in New York and Chicago and LA and other places that have a lot higher crime.
There was a law recently passed where I think January 1st we can open carry pistols.
Yes.
Were you guys behind that? Were you guys involved in that effort? Like, what was that?
Absolutely. You know, a little over 2 years ago, we started Come and Take It Texas as the first real major open carry group here in Texas that spawned the movement here and across the nation to take our rights back and get constitutional carry passed. We didn't quite get constitutional carry here. It's going to be a licensed version. Come January of next year, we're going to be the 45th state to allow open carry, finally joining the ranks of the rest of the country, finally getting rid of a 140-year ban on the open carrying of modern pistols here. Leftover.
And modern pistols is a distinction, right? Because there's some quirk of the law where you can carry some pistols.
Sure, I can carry any pre-1899 or curio replica.
Because those kill less. Or something.
I don't know. You might want to ask some people in some of those wars a long time ago.
Right.
I think they're actually not a firearm under the law. They're not defined as a firearm. They're defined as an antique or curio item. But they were designed back in the 1800s to shoot a man at 100 yards from horseback.
So I saw a video on YouTube. Was it in Austin? You guys were open carrying like modern firearms, right? In kind of protest. Was that part of Don't Comply?
Disobedience, yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Sure. On September 1st, we had a mass civil disobedience event down there at the Austin Capitol, right in front of it, at midnight, which is typically when the new laws would go into effect. We pushed really hard for over 2 years to get that constitutional carry law passed. At the last minute, the NRA comes and swoops in with their licensed version that they pass off to the politicians, and of course they take the lesser freedoms for the people. They claimed victory and went on their ways, collecting all of their dues and fattening their pockets with money. We, on the other hand, felt really slighted by them coming in and giving that option to the politicians. We had HB 195 on the books, ready to be signed. We had a lot of backing behind it, and it would have let us join the ranks of the 31 other states that allow a constitutional version of open carry, which is no license or registration.
Got it. Texas is like generally thought of as a more free place, but we still don't have something that a lot of states have, right?
Yeah,
that's
correct.
Interesting. So, what's the case to be made for for civil disobedience versus trying to fight to have the laws changed when you have to deal with political groups like the NRA, like that can come in and fuck things up?
Well, the event that evening, was to show this is when we should have had this right restored to us, and instead, the government has stolen that right and is selling it back to us at a cost, at registration fees, and it's not morally right, and that's what we were doing that evening was pointing out that right that we have been lost to government power.
How many people do you think canceled their NRA behind that, or was it not that?
There was a pretty big backlash on it. People were cutting up their life membership cards on videos, and it was kind of a deal down here, deal breaker for a lot of Texans.
All right, awesome. Well, we're just going to hang out, talk to some people, and walk the trail with y'all. I think.
Please do. Welcome to the trails here in Dallas, where it's going to be completely safe.
Completely safe.
And hopefully the word will get out to the criminals that we are encouraging more people to come down here with guns, and hopefully they'll just move to Chicago.
Did you have anything you wanted to?
Yeah, well, I just want one thing. Like, we've already been approached by a police officer here
as soon as we got out of the car
for having a drone that wasn't a drone. I was wondering, all the media stories and stuff like that. How much of a backlash do you guys usually have at your events? Is it like a good an actual presence of cops trying to disrupt what you guys are trying to do at all?
There's some issues here and there in other towns and other parts of the state. Some departments don't care for it too much. Here in Dallas, it's actually very laid back. They usually send out 1 or 2 plainclothes people to just blend into the background, and they never get in our way.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Again, I'm Sergeant Hall with the Dallas Police Department. Who am I speaking with?
I don't answer questions.
You don't answer questions? Okay, do you have a drone here?
I don't answer questions.
Okay, well, let me advise you that we've contacted the FAA because my detective here states that she saw you with a drone. We've contacted the FAA. It's against the law, okay, to fly a drone within 5 miles of an airport.
Got it.
We verified our location where we're at. You're within 5 miles. You cannot fly your drone.
Got it.
Okay? All right? Okay. Do you have any questions for me?
Nope.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, sorry, I talked to
So Dallas Police are concerned that they have a drone here within the airport, as you can tell. Let's see.
Oh, no, hold on.
Just-
We're going to fly the drone.
Okay. All right, let's fly the drone.
Ready? You gotta make the noises.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
But there are a lot of people avoiding the trail today because you guys are here.
There's a lot of people avoiding the trail today because the police said not to come out here, because the friends of Katy Trail said not to come out here. These are the people that are causing the issues in the first place. The police announcing to the public, to the criminals, where there won't be armed people, where there's going to be defenseless people, is a very dangerous thing for them to be doing. And we can see that recently of these armed attacks down here, the armed robberies, the machete attacks down here.
We live in Plano. We
Okay.
come here to walk.
Okay. What do you think about these people?
Bit extreme.
Okay. Are you for or against guns? What do you think?
I understand the reason to have them, definitely. And I thought about those people in France last night. If more people in the movie theater would have had guns, well, they might have been able to stop it sooner.
Anyone, maybe, right?
Right, yeah, even one person if they had a gun. So I understand I'm not against guns, but that was unsettling walking past them
It was.
with big rifles, and I'm not used to seeing whatever kind of rifles those were hanging on it. That was very unsettling. It's disturbing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ban it or respect the right and just not appreciate
I
it?
support the right for women to go topless on beaches, but that doesn't mean that I need to show that support walking down the Katy Trail.
Okay.
I mean, I just think
That's
there's
a
a
good
time
point.
and a place. Who are they trying to win over on the Katy Trail?
So don't ban it or ban it? What do you
Oh,
Ban it.
I don't want to ban anything.
Maybe they could be more sensitive. I don't know.
All right, so my only opinion on this is this. Anyone who has any firearms training, whether you're taught by your grandpa, your uncle, your dad, one of the things you don't do is bring out a gun because it escalates any situation. I was always taught that, point in a safe direction, don't look down the barrel, make sure it's loaded, all those great things, pointing at the ground, but you bring out a gun, it escalates the situation. The military is taught to have shows of force for a reason, to deter people from wanting to attack or try to challenge their position of power. And walking as a normal citizen, I mean, why are you having a show of force for? I think the Second Amendment shouldn't be abridged, but there's also going to be things you should and shouldn't do as well.
So should it be banned, or should they just be more respectful?
Everyone should have a right to defend themselves and bear arms, but you only bear arms in situations where it's necessary.
Okay.
And I don't think walking up and down Katy Trail is where you need to have an AR or your shotgun while you're carrying a baby. I mean,
So you would say this is an ineffective way of changing public opinion on the topic?
exactly, because not everyone's going to share the same opinion, so all you do is look threatening. And again, you've escalated a situation where maybe they could see your point of view, or now they don't want to because you're just the demonized monster that they see on TV or that they don't respect.
Got it. So I've randomly stopped 3 people so far and asked their opinion on what's going on here and how they think it'll hurt or help. So far, I've had one person say they don't want it banned, but they're not sure. And I think both of the other people have basically said that this is extreme and works against your own cause by making people feel uncomfortable. What do you say to that?
I don't think that's true at all. I mean, we have to take a stand as Americans. If you don't exercise your right in our country, we lose them. And we have to make people aware that just because you have a gun doesn't mean you're going to shoot children in a school. And this whole media, what I call the fake media, is always anti-gun and putting gun owners in a bad light. And always there's a mistake with a weapon, it makes every news channel. And so anyway, I think this has helped, and I have a deep conviction about this, and willing to go to jail if we have to do it.
When I first started, there was no women ever out at these events and no children. And then I met Brad here in Dallas was the first walk I did. And I brought my daughter and my son, and it became a monthly thing. And I think seeing more women and children involved does make it a lot easier for society. Because men, I'm sorry, they like to wear camo a lot, and run through places with their guns. It does scare people. But I think when you get more women and children involved, it makes it a little bit softer.
Hi, Patrick. I'm Heather Hill with Liberty for Free Radio. LibertyForFree.com radio show.
What do you do for them?
I am a host for for Freedomizer Radio. Yeah. I'm a mom, I'm a grandma, and I am one of the members of Katy, the Women of Katy, I would say we would call ourselves.
How do you think this helps further the cause of gun rights?
I think that people walking around afraid of guns is dangerous. We are not safer if there are not guns. So that's been proven by all the statistics. The murder rate and the incidence of violent crime go up when the population is unarmed. So we're better off to be armed. And we proved it here in Dallas when the Dallas Police Department came out and said, you would be safer on the Katy Trail if you would not have your firearms out there. And what happened instantly was that people began being robbed, and the chief of police can come out and say, we've caught those guys. But the fact of the matter is who will be the next person? Who will be the next victim? We're not making victim zones. We're making and teaching our children here, and particularly how to stand up for their own self-defense, because in 8 minutes, our children can be dead.
Okay. So are you here more to send a message to the cops, like, don't tell us where we can't take our guns, or are you here more to, like, change the general public opinion on open carry?
We are here to change the general opinion on open carry by using the example that has taken place here. We actually are out here raising our voice because in Texas, we want constitutional carry.
What does that mean?
Constitutional carry means that you don't have a license. You don't need to have registration. You have a right as a free man to bear arms according to the Constitution of the United States. We don't need to have a license, okay? We have a right to defend our families. We have a right to hunt. We have a right for our men to self-defend themselves in whatever manner they suit any way that they decide to. That's our right. It's not something that we should ask for. It's not something that we should pay for.
Since last year, crime is up 65% in our area. Rape, 140%. Armed robbery, I think personal crimes is up to 133%. And that's not including what just currently occurred here on Katy Trail. There's all kinds of things. There's drug paraphernalia that I'm picking up around my house. There's used condoms. There's fights breaking out in the street from being people in the middle of the night. It's the late night aspect of it in a highly residential area is a dangerous combination, and it's proven to be that case for several things that have occurred recently. So the community is now, it's awoken a sleeping giant, if you will, and the community is organizing and finally saying enough is enough.
By arming the public, by telling them what their rights are and that they can be armed, it actually can make your lives better because when seconds count, cops are minutes away. Go out, bear your arms, and take care of yourselves. If the cops aren't doing it for you, this is your inalienable right to do it yourself. We don't want to have a population here in Texas or in Dallas of victims, and we want the criminals to be afraid that when they start coming after people on these trails, there are going to be people that are going to fight them back. But we believe that an armed society is a polite society.